Okay, a big slice of breaking news we've got coming in. We're learning that actor Vijay is going to be entering into politics. He's announced the name of his party. We're going to share with you in just a second. But a big step, and this taking place right before the elections that are set to take place in just a few months from now. What this could potentially mean and whether or not the actor will be bringing his political party to contest in it, that of course remains the big question. You can see him on stage. We're just going to wait for reporters to join us to bring us more context. Remember, this is something that some reports have been suggesting for a little while now. Sources had said that around 200 members of the party's general council had attended a meeting ahead of the registration. So this was supposed to happen. Now, we are going to bring you more context. He's obviously been elected as his party's president. My colleague Purnima with us right now. Purnima, can you tell our audiences some conversation around him entering before the 2026 state polls? Can you tell our audiences more about the party's name and what the party's vision is? Okay, we'll wait till Lee establish that connection. Remember, he has in the past suggested names like Ambedkar, Periyar, Kamaraj as those he looked up to. He'd organized a constituency-wise program very recently to felicitate students and toppers, and it's those visuals that were actually playing out on the right side of your screens as we speak. He has sometimes been called the Rajnikant of Tamil cinema. He's acted in 68 films himself, remember. But right now, this political plunge and what it could potentially mean. Remember, it's interesting. He'd earlier said that the party name would definitely have Kazam in it, and it does. We'll bring you more context on the whole name, Tamilaga Vetri Kazam, in just a second from now. The General Secretary, the Treasury, they've all been appointed. A Central Executive Committee has also been constituted as well. So all of that has been put together. We'll wait for just a second for our reporters to join us to tell you why this is so big and what this means. Because as we told you a little while earlier, the 2026 state polls in Tamil Nadu have always been part of the vision plan for the actor. But whether this could have more recent, more immediate implications in the general elections, that's the bigger and obviously interesting question that we will be keeping an eye for right now. Okay, my colleague Purnima joining us right now. Purnima, fill us in, please. What could this potentially mean? Tell us more about the party and what Vijay said are his plans.
Well, Vijay officially made the plunge into politics. In a statement, Vijay said that after 2024 Lok Sabha polls, his party policies, philosophy, flag, symbols, all that will be revealed. However, he has officially entered into the electoral politics and has named the party Tamil Victory Kazam, meaning victory symbolizes victory. And right now, Vijay Star Association of the Vijay Makkal Iyakam, that in fact will now be converted into his political party. Work has already begun. And Jay in a statement said that politics is not a state, it serves to the mankind, and so he has decided to take the plunge
Okay.
to politics.
Purnima, we aren't able to hear you too clearly. We're going to go over to Suman C. Raman. Sir, thank you for joining us this afternoon on CNN News 18. Big news for our audiences. Sir, can you just tell our audiences, especially those tuning in from around the country, Vijay's huge cinematic impact is known across the country. But can you tell us more about his political ambitions? Because this is something we've known about for a little while, that a political party was on the horizon. But with the name being announced, with the motive and motto being announced, what do you make of it, sir? And where do you see it fit into the current Tamil Nadu political spectrum?
Is that for me?
Yes, sir, it is for you. If you were able to hear it.
Yeah, it was that Vijay was planning to launch his party was known for the last almost couple of years. The only issue here is that many believe so in that sense,
okay,
announcement now. Other than that, I think that this was coming. I mean, most of us did feel that this party was in the works.
Okay, sir, unfortunately, our connection with you is not too strong. So as we re-establish that, let me just go over to our colleague Zaka Jacob, who's with us right now. Zaka, Suman C. Raman pointing to the timing of this announcement. Can you shed more light on this?
Oh, absolutely. It's timed for the Lok Sabha election, no doubt about it, because that's the next big election in Tamil Nadu. And of course, 2026 assembly election as well. But make no mistake, he is a very, very popular actor. post the Rajni Kamal era, he is arguably the biggest star in Tamil Nadu. But that doesn't necessarily always translate into political success. Kamal Hassan made his debut again, sometime before the last elections, and it's not like that automatically translated into political success. But Vijay, of course, has a lot more mass appeal, particularly amongst youngsters. So whether or not that translates into political support, we'll have to wait and see. He's sort of invoked political lines and dialogues in most of his movies. His dialogues have always been sort of anti-establishment. In many of his movies, there is a perceived anti-BJP line. So it's very possible that his politics is going to be centered on a very anti-BJP, anti-North Indian parties, anti-Hindi kind of a position, because that is what will have mass appeal in Tamil Nadu. But how it will play with the existing ruling establishment, which is the DMK, which also is on the political left, let's say, in Tamil Nadu, whether or not that will cut into their votes, that is something that is going to be interesting to watch out for. Also, Vijay, if you remember, some years ago, had got into this controversy with one of the BJP leaders in Tamil Nadu, H. Raja, about his religion, and there was a lot of back and forth political sparring that happened between them. So I don't think he would be predisposed to be in favor of the BJP or in alliance with the BJP. I think what this will do is it will give an option to voters in Tamil Nadu who may be anti-incumbent, anti-DMK, but may not necessarily be, may not have affinity towards the BJP. So this gives them that option. But like I said, this whole business of actors getting into politics has been going on since MGR's time. MGR was a very successful chief minister, 3-term chief minister. Then Jayalalitha, again, multi-term chief minister. Karunanidhi was also a very, very successful scriptwriter, then became a politician, again, multi-term chief minister. But of late, particularly in the last generation or so, acting success, cinematic success has not necessarily converted into political success. Even Rajni, he's been dilly-dallying with politics for God knows the last 30 years now. He hasn't jumped into active politics. Even with Kamal Hassan, he's formed his own political party, but very little success. In the last Tamil Nadu Assembly elections, I think he barely got about 5% of the votes. So it is not a guarantee that just because Vijay is a popular actor, and a very popular actor, no doubt about it, that would necessarily translate into political success. A lot will depend on, where he stands on issues that are plaguing Tamil Nadu, on the agriculture crisis that is plaguing Tamil Nadu, on center-state relations, on federalism. What is his position vis-a-vis some of the other political established figures? I mean, will he have cordial ties with Stalin, with Udayanithi, with Annamalai, who's on his Padyatra across Tamil Nadu, who's also an up-and-coming star in Tamil Nadu politics? So a lot will depend on how he's going to articulate his positions over the next few weeks and months. But I think it's very clear that the timing is for the Lok Sabha election. He will field candidates for the Lok Sabha election.